नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे प्रवाणविचारिणि निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासुदेव गौतम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So welcome for our morning Bhagavatam class. So today also we will not have Mission Achipurita purport reading. We'll directly do it proper purport. So here yesterday we read this purport translation. The purport was very big, so I didn't take that. So today we'll try to discuss. So here we see that we'll try to read the purport once. Translation: persons whose bodily features change in ecstasy and who breathe heavily and perspire due to changing the hearing the glories of the Lord are promoted to the kingdom of God. Even though they do not care for meditation and other austerities, the kingdom of God is above the material universe and it is described by Brahma and other demigods. So, I think it is clearly stated herein that the kingdom of God is above the material universe. Just as there are many hundreds of thousands of higher planets above Earth, so there are many millions and billions of spiritual planets belong to spiritual sky. Brahmaji states herein that the spiritual kingdom is above the kingdom of demigods. One can enter the kingdom of the Supreme Lord only when one is highly developed in desirable qualities. All good qualities develop in a person of a devotee. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto 18th chapter verse 12 that anyone who is Krishna conscious is endowed with all good qualities of the demigods. In the material world, the qualities of demigods are highly appreciated, just as even in our experience, the qualities of a gentleman are more highly appreciated than the qualities of a man in ignorance or in lower conditions. The qualities of demigod, the higher planets are far superior to the qualities of inhabitants of the earth. Material, like there are qualities which are very like divine qualities. They are materially also very powerful. Along with that, they have very nice divine qualities also. They are very clean, they are very forgiving, they are grateful, and so many other qualities which are in the mode of goodness are all available for people who are in higher planetary systems. Brahmaji confirms herein that only persons who have developed the desirable qualities can enter into kingdom of God. This is a very important criteria. Like we need to match with the qualities. So we have discussed this previously also. Our position in this creation is proportionate to the state of consciousness. Because I have earthly consciousness, that's why I'm on earth. If I develop a demigod consciousness, I will be in the demigod planets. If I develop the qualities of a person in Vaikuntha, I can reach Vaikuntha. So, being here, we should work on cultivating the qualities of people who are in Vaikuntha. First thing is they are non envious. There is no jealousy and envy. And they are always in a mood of service. They are not selfish. They don't think about themselves, they think about the Lord all the time. So, there are some basic qualities that are needed. Then they are fit to stay in the spiritual world. Now, another thing is here by chanting the holy name with a desire to serve, we can develop all these things. So, what is the way? This is the way for all of us. So, here we'll add the quality, how we develop all this qualities which are needed. Um, So first is chanting the holy name. Plus desire to serve. So then we get all develop the desire qualities which we can enter into the kingdom of God. So this is the method. For Kali Yuga, this is recommended. This is the most important. That is how the recommendation is given for Kali Yuga. No other sampradayas, they have this formula. They don't know these things. For us, by mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they don't emphasize. These things are not there in other sampradayas. Bhinnatvam nama namina. This concept is not there. They don't consider holy name non-different from the Lord. They don't have so much emphasis on going to Dham regularly. They don't have emphasis on every day doing Guru Puja. They don't have emphasis in every day systematically reading Bhagavatam. This is speciality because of Prabhu Goswami we are getting. And here, if you want to develop the qualities in a very fast way, this is the method recommended. We have to chant and there should be a desire to serve. That is what. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the devotees' desirable qualities are described to be 26 numbers. All these 26 will manifest. They are stated as follows. So these are the qualities that are 26 qualities of devotees are given. He is kind. He does not quarrel with anyone. He accepts Krishna consciousness as the highest goal of life. He is equal to everyone. No one can find fault in his character. He is magnanimous, mild, and always clean, internally and externally. He does not profess to possess anything in the material world. He is benefactor to all living entities. He is peaceful and is a soul completely surrendered to Krishna. That's why he is peaceful. This is, he can find, no one can find fault in his character. These are very nice qualities, and this is peaceful because he surrendered. He has no material desires to fulfill. He just wanted to give everything to Krishna. He is meek and humble and always steady and has conquered the sensual activities. He does not eat more than required to maintain body and soul together. He is never mad after material identity. He is respectful to all others and does not demand respect for himself. He is very grave and very compassionate and very friendly. There are many qualities here. He is poetic. He is expert in all activities and he is silent in nonsense. These are the qualities that are there. And for us, we not separately cultivate them. Just chant the holy name with a desire to serve. All these characters will come. Simple. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 25th chapter, verse 21, the qualifications of a saintly persons are mentioned. It is said that a saintly person eligible eligible to enter into the kingdom of God is very tolerant, is very tolerant, very kind to all living entities. He is not partial. He is kind to both human beings and animals. He is not such a fool that he will kill a goat Narayana to feed a human Narayana or Daidra Narayana. He is kind to all living entities and therefore he has no enemy. He is very peaceful, and these are the qualities of a person who is eligible to enter into kingdom of God. That such a person gradually becomes liberated and enter into the kingdom of God is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 5th chapter, verse 2. And Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 3rd chapter, verse 24 also states that if a person does not cry or exhibit bodily changes after chanting the holy name of God without offenses, is to be understood that he is hard hearted, still framed heart. And that therefore his heart does not change even after he chants the holy name. Hare Krishna. These bodily changes can take place due to ecstasy when we offenselessly chant the holy name of Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is the method recommended for all of us in Kali Yuga. Offenselessly chanting with a desire to serve, everything will happen. It may be noted that there are 10 offenses we should avoid. So then here Prabhupada is giving the 10 offenses. And then Prabhupada says when one is free from all 10. So now we see the qualities, they're connected to the holy name for us. For us, anything is holy name only. There is meditation on the whole Nama Dhyana, Rupa Dhyana, Leela Dhyana, Guna Dhyana. So there are so many types of meditating. Rupa Kirtana, Nama Kirtana, Guna Kirtana, all these Kirtans are there. For us, recommended is Nama Kirtan. Because in Nama Rupa Guna Leela, everything will come. That is why for us Nama is recommended. No need. We can meditate on Guna Kirtan and Rupa Kirtan and Leela Kirtan. But for us, more important is Nam Kirtan. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. We just have to chant the holy name offenselessly and it works. All the qualities, all the good qualities, everything is needed will manifest. Leela will manifest, Rupa, Nam, everything will manifest. Prabhupada writing, when one is free from all 10 of these offenses in chanting the holy name of God, he develops the ecstatic bodily features called pulakashru. Pulaka means symptoms of happiness and ashru means tears in eyes. See that's all. Chanting is sufficient. That means he's getting everything. The symptoms of happiness and tears in eyes must appear in a person who has chanted the holy name offenselessly. Here in this verse, it is stated that those who actually develop the symptom of happiness and tears in the eyes by chanting the glories of Lord are eligible to enter the kingdom of God. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that if one does not develop these symptoms while chanting Hare Krishna, it is to be understood that he is still offensive. Any of us, for me at least, who are not getting the tears while chanting, we should know that we are committing offenses. Chaitanya Charitam suggests a nice remedy in this connection. There it is said in verse 31, Adilila, that if anyone takes shelter of Lord Chaitanya and just chant the holy name Hare Krishna, he becomes free from all offenses. So this is the recommendation that is given. Now here, the formula is very simple. We just have to chant without offenses, taking shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There is no other alternative, no shortcuts. And here, next verse it says, Tad Vishwaguru Adhikritam Bahuva Bhuvanaika Vandyam दिव्यं विचित्र विबुधाग्रविमानशोचे आपु हरामोदम् अपूर्वमुपेत्य योग माया बलेन मुनयस्तगतो विकुण्ठम्. In this verse, thus the sages Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, Sanatkumar, upon reaching the above mentioned Vaikuntha in the spiritual world, by dint of their mystic yoga performance, perceived unprecedented happiness. They found that the spiritual sky was illuminated by highly decorated aeroplanes piloted by best devotees of Vaikuntha and was predominated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now we will see what Prabhupada says. They went because Lord wanted, it's a Leela. Otherwise, with yogic meditation powers, it is not possible for a person to reach there. It is by mercy of Lord it happens. It is not by our own endeavor. But in this case, it happened because Lord desired it, Lord wanted it. And this is a very nice situation that happened by Lord's arrangement. And they are able to reach. So this is a story. So before telling how they went to Vaikuntha, Brahma took time to explain what is Vaikuntha to demigods. Because by hearing, we get a desire to go there. That's what is association means. Anything what is happening in this world for us is based on association. Our mind, what it is associating with. Sangha sanjayate kam. When we associate Sangha, that is actually what. And we are what we are associating with. And association, it gives that faith also. That's why what we are based on, the living entity is what is his faith. Shraddha Mayoyam Purusham, it is said. We are our faith, and it is based on our experiences, and it is based on our relationships. It's like that. So, here, when we hear from Brahmaji, we get that what Brahmaji is doing, he is also trying to give that. So, living entity is Jiva is his faith. Shraddha Mayam Purusham. And this faith is based on experience. And this is based on association. So we should be very careful with what we are associating. So if we come to the association of devotees, we get spiritual experience. Then we develop a faith in spirituality. So in that way, we become spiritualized. So this is the formula that we need. The Supreme Personality of Prabhupada writing, Supreme Personality of God, it is one without a second. He is above everyone. No one is equal to him, nor is anyone greater than him. Therefore, he is described here as Vishwaguru. He is the prime living entity of entire material and spiritual creations and is Bhaunaika Bandham, the only worshipable personality in the three worlds. Here, this is formula. If you see Prabhupada disciples, Prabhupada went to the West, they got association, and Prabhupada gave them the experience. They developed the faith, and then they all became very advanced devotees. Prabhupada says, Vaikuntha plant, there is no scarcity of anything which are available in the material world. They are available, but they are more valuable because they are spiritual and therefore eternal and blissful. The sages felt an unprecedented happiness because Vaikuntha was not predominated by any ordinary man. The Vaikuntha planets are predominated by expansions of Krishna who are definitely lame, as Madhusudana, Madhava, Narayana, Pradyumna, etc. These transcendental planets are worshipable because the personality of God personally rules them. It is said that the sages reach the transcendental spiritual sky by dint of these mystic powers. That is the perfection of yoga system. The breathing exercises and disciplines to keep faith in proper order are not the ultimate goal of yoga perfection. The yoga system as generated generally here in front of our house. Here now there is different begging system. They blow this pipe which you are hearing now and they ask for money because it is so disturbing. People give money. The yoga system is generally understood is Ashtanga Yoga or Siddhi, eightfold perfection of yoga. By dint of perfection in yoga, one can become lighter than the lightest and heavier than the heaviest. One can go wherever he likes and can achieve the opulence as he likes. These are eight such perfections. The rishis, the four Kumaras reached Vaikuntha to become lighter than the lightest and thus passed over space of metal. Now, propagating modern mechanical space vehicles are unsuccessful because they cannot go to the highest region of this metal world and they certainly cannot enter the spiritual sky. But by perfection of yoga system, one can not only travel through material space, but can surpass material space and enter the spiritual sky. We learn this fact also from an incident concerning Durvas Muni and Mara Ambrish. It is understood that in 1 year, Durvas Muni traveled everywhere and went into the spiritual sky to meet the Supreme Personality of God Narayana. By present standards, scientists calculate that if one travels at the speed of light, it would take 40,000 years to reach the highest planet of this metal world. But the yoga system can carry one without limitation or difficulty. So they don't go in the space like this. They travel in a much subtler way. The word Yogamaya is used in this verse. Yogamaya balena viguntam. The transcendental happiness experienced in the material world and in the spiritual world and other spiritual manifestations are made possible by the influence of Yogamaya. So this is about Vaikuntha. And here next verse it says Tasmin atityamunaya sajjamana कक्षा समान व्यवसाम अत सप्तमाया देव्या अचक्षत गृहीत गदोपराध्य केयूर कुंडल किरीट विकुंठ वेशो. After passing through the six entrances of Vaikuntha Puri, so they directly went. They crossed six gates. There are seven gates. Now, why there are gates in the spiritual world? What is the? It is decoration. It is not because of fear from thieves and dacoits. In Vaikuntha, everything is for decoration, pleasure. Then why there are guards from whom they are protecting? Who will come? No demons can enter, right? It is also pleasure. They just want to give some pleasure to the Lord. They want to show that we are there always. Nothing will happen. Lord is also having his Shankha Chakra Gada and other parts. Now, why Lord needs weapons in Vaikuntha? It's a decoration and it's a assurance. See, I have. So they don't need any of these things. They're free from all these things, but still Lord keeps weapons to give some sort of assurance and some of this, like all these gatekeepers, they are standing because they want to do that service. And all these entrances are there, doors are there. So decoration, all these things. And after passing the six entrances of Vaikuntha Puri, the Lord residents without feeling astonishment at all. The decorations they saw at the seventh gate, two shining beings of same age, armed with mace and adorned with most valuable jewels, earrings, diamonds, helmets, arms, etc. Prabhupada is reading. The sages were so eager to see the Lord within Vaikuntha Puri that they did not care to see the transcendental decoration of the six gates which they passed by one after another. But at the seventh door, they found two doormen at the same age. The significance of doormen's being of the same age in the Vaikuntha planet, there is no old age. So one cannot distinguish who is older and whom. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha are decorated like the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana with Shankha Chakra Gada and Padma. Now there is no influence of time. That's why there is no old age. Everybody lives in present. There's no past and future. Spiritual world is present. If we even for a fraction of second we live in present, we experience great pleasure. Brahmananda we get at the level of soul, in a deep sleep state. You all get some direct connection to the soul. But beyond that, that is Shuddha Sattva level. You can experience. And here, Vaikuntha level is Shuddha Sattva. So there is a great amount of pleasure. And if somebody has a relationship with Lord, then it is much more. Next shloka says, Mattaddirepa vanamalikaya nivitau vinyastayasti chatustaya bhagumadhye Vaktram Dhruva Kutilaya Spurtanirkamabhyam Rakte Kshanena Chamaga Managarishabham Dadan. So here they say that the two doormen were garlanded with fresh flowers which attracts intoxicated bees and which were placed around their necks and between their four blue arms. For from their arched eyebrows, discontent nostrils, and reddish eyes, they appear somewhat agitated. Their garlands attracted swarms of bees because they were garlands of flesh flowers. In Vaikuntha world, everything is fresh, new, and transcendental. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha have bodies of bluish color and four hands like Narayana. So this is actually what gave me very nice hope. Like when I was in school, that time I used to read about deforestation, how the forests in Amazons are burnt and they're destroyed for producing soya bean. I used to feel so sad. Array, so much of the nature is destroyed and so many species are getting extinct. So this was a little concern for me. When I came to came to ISKCON, and then Prabhupada's telling, oh, there is spiritual world and everything is there. So that gave such a great solace. Yes, so no need to worry because these things bhutva bhutva pralita. Anyway, it is going to be destroyed. This metal world, and again, Lord creates, again destroys, again creates. So there is nothing permanent here. So I need not worry much because there's some place where everything is permanent. All the species of life are there, everything. So that gave great, and everything is fresh also. The best thing, everything is fresh, new, and transcendental. It's all here, Monday. Like we went to all these beautiful places. It's so nice. Then how beautiful will Vaikuntha? If we just go to Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, or Kashmir, or some other places where it's so beautiful, nature looks so nice. We get different shades of colors, and it's a big festival for eyes. Now, when but how beautiful will Vaikuntha? We cannot imagine only. If this material world with all these imperfections only it is so beautiful, and how beautiful will Vaikuntha? And then how beautiful will the Creator who made it? What a talent he has. So this is how we understand. And next sloka says, Varyetyo nivivasur mishatora prashpa पूर्वायता पुरत व्रजकपाटिकाय सर्वत्र ते विस्मया मुनयः स्वदृष्ट्या येषाञ्चत्य अवहिता विगताभिषक्त्या. It says that Brahma is further describing the great sages headed by Sanaka had opened doors everywhere. They had no idea of ours and theirs. With open minds, they entered the seventh door out of their own will, just as they have passed through the six other doors, which were made of gold and diamond. Prabhupada writing, although very old in years, maintained themselves eternally as small children. They were not at all duplicitous, and they entered the door exactly as little children enter places without any idea of what it is to be, what it is to trespass. That is child's nature. A child can enter any place and no one checks him. Indeed, a child is generally welcome in his attempts to go places, but if it is so happened that a child is checked from entering door, he naturally becomes very sorry and angry. So this is children's nature. Small children are coming, who will, and that is the nature of child. In this case, the same thing happened. The childlike saintly personalities entered all the six doors of the palace, and no one checked them. Therefore, when they attempted to enter the seventh door and were forbidden by the doorman, who checked them with their sticks, they naturally became very angry and sorrowful. An ordinary child would cry, but because they were not ordinary children, they immediately made preparation to punish the doorman for that. Doorman had committed a great offense. Even on this day, saintly person is never checked from entering anyone's door in India. That is 60 years back. Now it is not like that. Transmasses are prosecuted. And this is a nice incident. Small children are coming, and if they want to come into the house also, people say, "Okay, kaun hai aap?" Like they people try to caress and try to talk to them. They don't mind. They said, "Okay, they are coming. Let them come." But here in Vaikunta, it happened that they were not allowed. So of course, it's this how the Lord wanted, but we'll see. तान् वीक्ष्य वातरसनां चतुरः कुमारान् वृद्धादृशार्धविष वयसो विदितात्मतत्त्वान् वेत्रेण चाखलयतां तदर्हणांस्तु तेजो विहस्य भगवत्पतिकूलशीलौ. The four boy sages, who had nothing to cover their bodies but the atmosphere, looked only 5 years old, even though they were the oldest of all living creatures and have realized the truth by itself. But when the postures, who happened to possess a disposition quite unpalatable to the Lord, saw the sages, they blocked their way with their stiffs, despairing their glories. Although the sages did not deserve such treatment at their hands. So, but the four sages were the firstborn sons of Brahma. Therefore, all other living entities, including Lord Shiva, are born later and are therefore younger than four Kumaras. Although they looked like 5-year-old boys and traversed naked, the Kumaras were older than all other living creatures and has realized the truth of the self. Such saints are not to be forbidden to enter the kingdom of God, but by chance. This is very important. So Prabhupada also very clearly explains. By chance the doorman objected to their entrance. This was not fitting. The Lord is always anxious to serve sages like Kumars, but in spite of knowing this fact, the doorman astonishingly, outrageously prohibited from entering. It is the Lord's desire. That's why it is happening like this. Next look says Tabhyam Rishastva Animisheshu Nishidhyamana Swastamahi Apihare Patihara Uच्च Tam Didrikshati Bhanga Ishat Kamanujena Sahasa Tad Upala Utaksha. When the Kumaras, although by far the fittest persons, were thus forbidden entrance by the two chief goalkeepers of Srihari, while other divinities looked on, their eyes suddenly turned red because of anger due to their great eagerness to see their most beloved master, Sri Hari, the personality of Godhead. It's a nice purport, we'll see what Opad is writing. According to the Vedic system, a sannyasi, a person in the renounced road of life, is dressed in saffron colored garments. The saffron dress is particularly a passport for the mendicants and sannyasis to go anywhere. This is passport. The sannyasi's duty is to enlighten people in Krishna consciousness, not for begging. They should not go for begging. They should serve. Those in the renounced order of life have no other business but to preach the glories and supremacy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Vedic sociological conception is that a sannyasi should not be restricted. He is allowed to go anywhere and everywhere he wants, and he is not refuted any gifts he may demand from the householder. The four Kumaras came to see the Supreme Person, God Narayana. The word Suhuttama, best of all friends, is important. Lord Krishna stated in Bhagavad Gita that he is Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. He is so kindly disposed towards everyone that in spite of our completely forgetting our relationships with Lord, he comes himself sometimes personally as Lord Krishna appear on this earth and sometimes as his devotees as did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He sends his bona fide devotees to reclaim the fallen souls. Therefore, he is great well-wishing friend of everyone and the Kumars wanted to see him. That is the desire. They know about the Supreme Lord. They want to see the Supreme Lord. The doorkeeper should have known that four sages have no other business. Therefore, to restrict them from entering the palace was not apt. So this is the mistake they did. And Prabhupada writing nice point. In this verse, it is figuratively stated the younger brother of desire suddenly appeared in person when the sages were forbidden to see their most beloved personality of God. So, younger brother of desire is anger. If one's desire is not fulfilled, the younger brother anger follows. Here we can mark that even the great saintly persons like Kumaras were also angry. But they are not angry for their personal interest. They were angry because they were forbidden to enter the palace to see the supreme personality of God. Therefore, the theory that in the perfectional stage one should not have anger is not supported in this verse. It's very important. Anger will continue even in the liberated state. These four mendicant brothers, the Kumaras, were considered liberated persons, but still they were angry because they were restricted in their service to the Lord. The difference between anger of an ordinary person and that of a liberated person is that an ordinary person become angry because sense desires are not being fulfilled, whereas a liberated persons like Kumaras become angry when restricted in discharge of duties for serving the person. So, two types of anger. So, even in liberated state, also there is anger. That is transcendental anger. And if desires are not fulfilled, it is mundane anger. So it is very clear here. The four Kumaras in liberated state, people ask why they are angry. They say no, they are angry because not for their personal sense gratification. but because they are restricted from service of you. In the previous verse, it has been clearly mentioned that the Kumaras are liberated person. Viditatma Tattva means one who understands the truth of self-realization. One who does not understand the truth of self-realization is called ignorant, but one who understands the self, super self, their interrelations and activities in self-relation is called Viditatma Tattva. Although Kumaras were already liberated person, they nevertheless became angry. This point is very important. Becoming liberated does not necessitate losing one's sensual activities. Sense activities continue even in liberated state. That means we still have senses. They are subtle senses, not the gross one, which are purified. Because subtle senses are purified, our gross activities are also purified. The difference is, however, the sense activities and liberation are accepted only in connection with Krishna consciousness, where sense activity in conditioned state are enacted for personal sense gratification. So now the story goes to this is Brahma explained, and now Maitreya enters. So here Maitreya is explaining. Maitreya Vacha Kovam Hitaitya Bhagavat Paricharya Yachas Tadharminam Nivasata Visham Swabhava Tasmai Prashanta Purushe Gata Vigrahe Vam Kovatmat Kuhaka Kuhakayo Parishankaniya. Mitra is telling that the great sage said, who sorry, Munirvacha, sorry, it's not Maitreya. Brahma is only telling, and the four Kumaras they are speaking. What they say? Who are these two persons who have developed such discontent mentality even though they were posted in the service of the Lord in the highest position and are expected to have developed the same qualities as the Lord? How are these two persons living in Vaikuntha? Where is the possibility of enemies coming into this kingdom of God? The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no enemies. Who could be envious of him? Probably these two persons are impostors, therefore they suspect others to be like themselves. This is a very nice point here they are making. This is nice point. Like we will understand who can enter into Vaikuntha by these questions also. So what they are telling, who are these two persons who have developed such discontent mentality even though they are posted in service of Lord in the highest position, expected to have developed same qualities. So who are in the spiritual world, they should have the same qualities of the Lord. So they are telling, how is it possible that they are having such type of qualities? And then they say, how are these two persons living in Vaikuntha? There is a possibility of enemy coming into the kingdom of God, and the personality of Godhead has no enemies. Who can be envious of him? And the last point is very important. This is Atmavat Manyate Jagat. Probably these two persons are imposed. Therefore, they suspect others to be like themselves. Like if I am a cheater, then I see others also. They also look me like cheaters. If I'm a good person, then for me everybody looks good. So it is how. But the difference between the inhabitants of Vaikuntha planets and those of metal planets in that of in is that in Vaikuntha all the residents engage in the service of Lord Himself and are equipped with all good qualities. It has been analyzed by great personalities that when a conditioned soul is liberated and becomes a devotee, about 79% of all good qualities of Lord develop in that person. Therefore, in the Vaikuntha world, there is no question of enmity between the Lord and the residents. Here in this metal world, the citizens may be inimical to the chief executives or head of states. But in Vaikuntha, there is no such mentality. Why? Because their heart is completely satisfied. That's why they don't have jealous and envy. Like in this metal world, if somebody is getting more, no? Immediately there is envy and jealousy. But because Lord gives so much love to all living entities, He reciprocates so nicely. Heart is completely satisfied for them. There is no need. Like I have seen some devotees, they tell that we were so envious before, but after coming to Krishna consciousness, they saw the reciprocation of Lord. For us also, no, we have to treat Lord as a person and then see how He is reciprocating. Then we'll be free from envy. Then we don't need anything outside. We are completely satisfied because Lord gives. But when Lord gives, we have to treat Him as a person. Then we get all these things. If you treat Him as a person and try to serve Him in a personal way with some feelings, and immediately Lord reciprocates. He said, yes, yes, come on. If you show me love, you see how many times I give you. And they love us so much. Then we feel, no, I think I don't need anything. I'm sufficient with this. Here in the material world, the citizens may be inimical to the chief executive or head of state, but in Vaikuntha there is no such mentality. One is not allowed to enter Vaikuntha unless he's completely developed the good qualities. The basic principle of goodness is to accept subordination of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The sages therefore were surprised to see that the two doorkeepers who checked them from entering the palace were not exactly the residents of Vaikuntha Loka. It may be said that the doorman's duty is to determine who should be allowed to the enter palace, who should not. But it is not relevant in this matter because no one is allowed to enter Vaikuntha planets unless he has developed 100% his mentality of devotional service to the Supreme Lord. No enemy of Lord can enter Vaikuntha. So these doorkeepers are just the pleas of Lord as a decoration. The doors are there. So the Kumars concluded that the only reason for the doormen checking them was that the doormen themselves were impostors. That's all. They didn't understand that Lord wanted. So anyway, the point here is there is complete satisfaction to the heart. Heart is satisfied. You don't need anything. The There is no anxiety. That's why it is Vaikuntha. No anxiety. Heart is satisfied. Like small children sleeping in the lap of mother. No anxiety. They just drank the milk from the mother. They are just few months old. They are completely peaceful. That's why whole time they sleep only. They wake up, they drink milk, and they sleep again. So why? Because no anxiety. They're free. Their heart is satisfied because they get love from their mother. Similarly, here, see that if all the living entities in Vaikuntha, they experience so much love from the Lord. And then it becomes easy, no envy. So, nahi antaram bhagavati hi samasta kukshau atmanam nabho nabasiva dhira pashyanti yatra vyavaho suralingino kim युत्पादितं हि उदर वेदि भयं yatosya. Kumara says in the Vaikuntha world there is complete harmony between the residents and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just as there is complete harmony within space between the big and small skies. Why then is there a seed of fear in this field of harmony? These two persons are dressed like inhabitants of Vaikuntha, but where from can their disharmony come into existence? Harmony is, oh, this is very big purport. We'll just read. And this is a very important point we need to understand. We have to learn to live in harmony with nature, with the Lord. Then we can be happy in this material world. And because things won't go nicely, Lord will take us to spiritual world because we are ready to live in harmony. There is imbalance, then there is a problem. If there is imbalance in Kapha Vata Pitta, we get diseases. Imbalance in our dealing with people, then there is a problem. If you show extra affection to somebody, then we neglect somebody else. And this is actually what happens in the families. Somebody gets more attention and others will be damaged. No, it should be always balance. And people have this important question how to balance material and spiritual life. Actually, it is not possible in the material world to balance, but we can try to live little in harmony, whatever possible. Just as there are different departments in each state in the material world, the civil department and the criminal department. So in God's creation, there are two departments of existence. As in the material world, we find that the criminal department is far smaller than the civil department. So this material world, which is considered the criminal department, is one-fourth of the entire creation of the Lord. All living entities who are residents of the material universe are considered to be more or less criminals. That means whoever is staying in this material world, we are all criminals because they do not wish to abide by the orders of the Lord and they are against the harmonious activities of Lord's will. The principle of creation is that the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, is by nature joyful and he becomes many in order to enhance his transcendental joy. The living entities like ourselves, being part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, are meant to satisfy the senses of Lord. Thus, whenever there is a discrepancy in that harmony, immediately the living entity is entrapped by Maya or illusion. And Prabhupada, the external energy of Lord is called material world, and the kingdom of internal energy of Lord is called Vaikuntha, the kingdom of God. In the Vaikuntha world, there is no disharmony between the Lord and residents. Therefore, God's creation Vaikuntha world is perfect. There is no cause of fear. The entire kingdom of God is such a completely harmonious unit that there is no possibility of enmity. Everything there is absolute, just as there are many psychological constructions within the body, yet they work in one order for the satisfaction of stomach, physiological constructions. And just as in machine, there are hundreds and thousands of parts, yet they run in harmony to fulfill the function of machine. And Vaikuntha plant Lord is perfect and Hamps also perfectly engaged. Then Prabhupada, he smashes Mayavadis. Mayavadi philosophers, the impersonalists, interpret this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam to mean that the small sky and the big sky are one, but this idea cannot stand. The example of big sky and small sky is also applicable within a person's body. The big sky is the body itself, and the intestines and other parts of the body occupy the small sky. Each and every part of the body have individuality, even though occupying a small part of the total body. Similarly, the whole creation is the body of the Supreme Lord, and we created beings or anything that is created are but a small part of that body. The parts of the body are never equal to the whole. This is never possible. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the living entity who are part and parcel of Supreme Lord are eternally part and parcels. According to Maya, the philosopher, the living entity is an illusion, considering himself as part and parcel, although he is actually one and the same as Supreme Whole. This theory is not valid. And Prabhupada writes that there is no cause for politics or divide and rule in Vaikuntha plans. There is no fear because of united interest of the Lord and the residents. Maya means disharmony between living entities and the Supreme Lord, and Vaikuntha means harmony between them. So this is a difference. Actually, all living entities are provided for and maintained by the Lord because He is the supreme living entity. But foolish creatures, although actually under the control of Supreme Lord living entity, defy His existence, and that state is called Maya. And harmony or disharmony is realized because of the law and order of particular place. Religion is the law and order of the Supreme Lord. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, we find that the religion means devotional service or Krishna consciousness. Krishna says, give up all other religious principles, simply become a soul surrendered unto me. This is religion. When one is fully conscious that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and supreme lord and one acts accordingly, that is real religion. Anything which goes against the principle is not religion. Krishna therefore says, just give up all other religion, surrender unto me. Prabhupada writes, if some principles can be adopted here wholeheartedly or partially, then it's also Vaikuntha. So in this way, so it is with any society such as International Society for Krishna Consciousness. The members of International Society of Krishna Consciousness putting faith in Krishna as the center, live in harmony according to the order and principles of Bhagavad Gita, then they are living in Vaikuntha, not in material world. Okay, thank you all very much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।